convicted teenager walks free, telling everyone who'll listen that he's changed. He goes back to school. A family takes him in. The elders vouch for him. 7 months later, 4 bodies lie in the maze around his village. A grandmother, a banker, a young mother, a girl who never started school. And what he tells police about a stranger in Nairobi turns one village's nightmare into a national mystery. This is the story of the Rongai Mazefield murders. Kenya's Rift Valley, 3 hours from Nairobi, Rongai, farm country. Everyone knows everyone, or so they thought. January 2024, a stranger walks back into the village of Old Rongai. Except he's no stranger. Everyone knows this face. Ezekiel Sakwa Mwangi, 19 years old. And the last time anyone saw him, he was in handcuffs. Reports say he was sent away as a minor for the abuse of a 2-year-old girl, his own baby sister. The cousin who reported him, villagers link his death to Sakwa too. 3 years, Naivasha maximum security prison, then a youth institution at Eldama Ravine. And in January 2024, they let him out. He came home with a story. He said he'd found God. He said a sponsor in Naivasha, a rich man, would pay for his schooling. All he asked for was a second chance. And a small village finds that very hard to refuse. Within 7 months, 4 people from this corner of Kenya would be dead. A local farmer, John Kaguru, gave him a room in his own home. The elders re-enrolled him in secondary school. 19 years old, sharing a classroom with 15-year-olds. And the village celebrated, a lost son reclaimed. The warning signs took weeks, not months. Discipline problems call after call to his guardians. Then a knife at school. He said it was for a boy he'd argued with. His guardian did everything right. He went to the local chief, then to Gitao police post, Udindaikin, and filed a formal report. This young man is no longer under my care. I cannot vouch for him. According to testimony at trial, nobody acted. 5 months later, a child disappeared. July 13th, a Saturday night in Old Rongai. 9 p.m. Caroline Nanjala realizes her daughter Alice is gone. She's 4 years old. The neighbors join the search. Torchlight in the maze. All night. They find her at dawn, meters from her own door. The village tells itself this is a horror that happens once. For 3 weeks, it believes it. August 5th, Virginia Njeri Mwangi climbs to the Menengai crater, Chiredichank, to pray. 46 years old, a mother of 3. She never comes home. Her family says the scene told its own story. She had been forced to kneel. 2 days later, a desk at a Nakuru bank sits empty. Florence Mueni Mwalimu, 34, personal banking, cooperative bank, Nakuru. August 6th. 2 hours into her shift, she asks to leave. Her child needs a hospital. She never arrives anywhere. A herder finds her the next morning in a thicket at Kalyet. And something about the body is wrong, but that part of the story comes later. 1 day later, Mustard Seed Estate, Kayamunyi, right on the Nakuru Eldoret Highway. Vellah Moraa Mogambi, 28, walking home. She is found in the maze at the estate's edge. Police say a rungu, a heavy wooden club, was used. 4 victims, 26 days, all women and girls, all left in the crops. Rongai changes overnight. Nobody walks alone. Children move in convoys. He wasn't hiding them far away. He was keeping them close. He knew these paths. He was local, and people were beginning to whisper a name. The break in the case doesn't come from a laboratory. It comes from the neighbors. In Rongai and Nakuru West, people start walking into police stations, quietly, one by one. And they all keep saying the same name. The reformed man, the one with the sponsor in Naivasha. Because right after the fourth body was found, he vanished from the village. Detectives trace him 70 kilometers south, to Naivasha, the town where he served his sentence, the town his invented sponsor was supposed to live in. A town he knows, and a town where nobody knows him. Sunday, August 18th, after more than a week in hiding, he boards a vehicle back toward Nakuru. Police, acting on residents' tips, know exactly which road he is on. Ngata, a junction on the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. Officers stop the vehicle. They have a description. They have a name. The 19-year-old in the back doesn't run, doesn't fight, doesn't say a word. They book him into Menengai police station that same evening. And according to the detectives, almost immediately, he starts to talk. What he tells them will make national news. Menengai police station, an interview room. Police say he confesses to all four. Alice, Virginia, Florence, Vellah. In the detective's words, in a similar fashion. Asked why one word keeps coming back. Rejection. But it isn't the motive that stops the room cold. It's the banker's file. The commander says parts of her body were missing. Her ears, and at least one finger. Days after the killing, police say he had gone back for them. His explanation, he was taking them to Nairobi, to someone who sent him. A buyer, a client, a market for body parts, or a killer's invention? Police vowed to find the man in Nairobi. To this day, they never have. 2 days later, the man who confessed to everything would stand in a courtroom and take it all back. August 20th, Molo Law Courts. Police are granted 30 days to build the case. The psychiatric report lands with 2 words: deceiver, manipulator. September 19th, the High Court in Nakuru, 4 counts of murder. And the man police say confessed to everything, denies everything. 4 counts, 4 times the same 2 words. Uongo. It is a lie. Bail got denied. His file shows a history of escaping probation centers. Then the trial begins, and the evidence starts to speak. A police officer testifies. When Vellah went missing, her husband's phone rang. On the line, the accused, telling him where to find his wife's body. A government analyst goes further. DNA from all 4 victims. 1 match. Ezekiel Sakwa. And the farmer, John Kaguru, tells the court about the report he filed months before the first murder. The warning had been there all along, filed and forgotten. Nobody acted then. 4 families live with that now. As of the making of this video, the trial is ongoing. He has pleaded not guilty. The law presumes him innocent. The stranger in Nairobi, if he exists, has never been found. What is beyond dispute, 4 people who should still be here: Alice Ayuma, Virginia Njeri Mwangi, Florence Mueni Mwalimu, Vellah Moraa Mogambi. A village gave a man a second chance, still asking whether the mistake was kindness or the people whose job it was to listen. If this case was reported where you live, tell us in the comments. Subscribe for the cases the world ignores, and question every easy story.